of all talk shows and former British MP, George Galloway. George, you were listening there to Naftali Bennett. What was your response to that interview?
Well, you did a good job as his Alistair Campbell to him as Tony Blair. I hope he remembers you if he does get into the Prime Minister's seat. I'm frankly astounded that you did not ask him about the bombing of the Iranian state TV station just a couple of hours ago, the mass murder of tea ladies, technicians, journalists and broadcasters. I can't believe that you didn't know about that. And indeed, Professor
Actually, I don't know about that.
was...
You've just told me that, so that's the answer to your question. I didn't know about it. I've been on air.
Well, you really need to be better briefed.
Well, okay,
you're interviewing a guy that
you can have your views about that.
This is
in answer to your
important.
question, I didn't know, so that's the answer to your question.
Well, you should have known.
Okay, well, you're a better journalist than me. You're a better broadcaster than me. I didn't know.
Professor Marandi was in that building. I don't know if he's dead, but the story is that he was in that building to do an interview with you, and I very much hope that that is not true. And I very much hope that he is still alive.
He told me that was true. He told me that he'd been told to leave, but had decided to stay and do the interview, in which all he did was call me a liar, a coward, and a genocide enabler.
So you did know about the bombing of the Iranian TV station?
No, there was no bombing going on when I interviewed him, obviously, or I would have stopped the interview.
Piers, there's mass casualties.
Yes, George.
In the Iranian
you asked me
TV
if I knew
station.
it was going on when I interviewed him. I didn't.
Well, it's a disgrace that you did not know.
Well, I didn't, or I would have stopped.
Because you might have been able to ask.
If I'd known, I would have stopped the interview, obviously.
Well, this is going to grow and grow as an issue, Piers. You may very well be in difficulty here.
I won't be in any difficulty at all. Why don't we get on with the interview?
One thing you did know is that Israel has scores, if not hundreds, of nuclear weapons. And you did not mention it. Why is Israel allowed illegally to hold scores, if not hundreds, of nuclear weapons in defiance of the law, uninspected by any agency in Dimona? And reports today from Dimona are that they are currently modernizing their nuclear fleet. Don't you think that would have put in a better perspective this issue of nuclear weapons? The reason I know you know it is because the brave Jewish whistleblower Mordechai Vanunu, who blew the whistle on Israel's nuclear weapons, came first to the Daily Mirror and was betrayed by your enemy and mine, Robert Maxwell, to the Mossad, and then spent 22 years in prison in solitary confinement, and turned up in the courtroom with his jaws wired together like Hannibal Lecter, so he couldn't tell the courtroom what he'd told the Daily Mirror. Finally, the story appeared in Andrew Neil's Sunday Times, but only after Maxwell had betrayed him to the Mossad. So this issue of nuclear weapons, according to Tulsi Gabbard, Iran is not seeking to build a nuclear weapon.
Why would you believe them?
February.
Why would you believe them?
Well, I believe Tulsi Gabbard.
But why do you believe Iran?
No, I'm believing Tulsi Gabbard.
Given the atomic agency,
I'll come on to Iran.
Given that the atomic agency,
why do you want to dodge Tulsi Gabbard?
You've talked and talked and talked. Let me get a question in. The atomic agency, as you know, brought out a report in the last few days. It made it clear that Iran had lied, obfuscated, denied access, not allowed enough inspections, and that it now got uranium enriched to 60%, which is a massive stage forward from where they were at 3% a few years ago to now 60%. And the move from that to being able to create a nuclear weapon is actually much closer and therefore more potentially imminent as a threat. And I'm just curious why you would trust Iran as far as you could throw it, the regime, not the people, the regime, when they are clearly accelerating their nuclear program, clearly accelerating their enrichment program.
Piers,
why would you not be concerned about that?
Piers, I trust Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence.
You do?
Don't you?
Well, to be honest, right now, Tulsi Gabbard has not been a part of the conversations and meetings with Donald Trump in the Situation Room. There's a little bit of controversy on that situation alone. She is the intelligence director, so it's kind of weird that she's not part of that. She did say that Iran, she doesn't think Iran is building nuclear oil, but you go from, 6%, 3% to 60%. I mean, in a matter of 5 years, somewhere around that frame. I mean, what are we talking about? That's a pretty good advanced. That is alarming. In such a short amount of time, the amount of uranium that they have been able to gather, still not enough to make nuclear bomb, but still that advancement is worrying. And so, just a little bit on what George Galloway said about Israel. Nobody talks about Israel having nuclear weapons illegally. Nobody against the law, whatever. That could be true that they have nuclear weapons. I think they do. Is it against the law? I don't know. But regardless, or not regardless of the law, they should follow the law, clearly. But Israel hasn't been threatening to blow up people because of their religious beliefs. The Iranian regime has done that. So I don't understand the comparison there.
Well, don't you do? I'm surprised you do.
I'm very much hoping she'll be the next president, Piers. But I trust her. Don't you?
I don't know. I've interviewed her once in my life. I don't know whether to trust everything she says or not.
Well, you know that Donald Trump appointed her the director of national intelligence. Why would you doubt her?
Look,
Isn't Trump your friend?
I'm not doubting her or trusting her or untrusting her.
Does he appoint liars?
I'm asking you why you trust the Iranian regime when they say they're not wanting to build a nuclear bomb.
Well, you're actually asking the wrong person for this reason. If I was running Iran, I would long ago have had a nuclear weapon because Israel has scores or hundreds of them. And as you've just heard, is determined to bring about regime change in Iran. So you won't get me to clutch my pearls about Iran having nuclear weapons.
Why wouldn't you want regime change in Iran out of interest, given what a draconian, repressive, despicable regime it is?
I have this old-fashioned view. You once had it also in relation to the country next door, Iraq, that the leadership in any country is the business of the people in that country. But if you've got a nuclear-armed superpower trying to change your regime, frankly, you're an idiot if you don't arm yourself to the maximum that you are capable of.
So you want to see Iran arming itself with nuclear weapons?
Well, Israel's got hundreds.
No, I'm asking you about Iran.
You've just been talking about the slaughter of the...
I'm asking you about Iran.
In Gaza. Well,
would you, George Galloway, it sounds to me like you, George Galloway, unlike the rest of the world, would like to see Iran arming itself with nuclear weapons, to which I say you've lost your marbles.
Piers, there you go again. Unlike the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Do you really think that you speak for the rest of the world?
Well, I mean, certainly, if we're talking about Russia, I mean, the only people that wouldn't want to that would like Iran to have nuclear weapons would be the communist regimes and then the dictatorships, basically North Korea, Russia, etc. So what are we talking about?
Well, probably not China or Russia or North Korea. So let's take those four countries out of it, or Pakistan.
Listen,
but
Iran
actually, yes, most of the world has a real problem with the concept of Iran being a nuclear power, apart from you, who thinks they should have loads of nukes.
No, it's not just for me. Iran is presently the hero of the vast majority of people in the world.
Oh, rubbish.
And it's
absolute
the fact
rubbish.
That you can't see
what a load of absolute
Piers,
nonsense.
Take your eyes off the posterior of the tiny part of the world, which is the Western world.
You think that
Africa
currently
is with
most
Iran.
of the world, you think the rest of the world
America is with Iran.
You think the rest of the world
China is with Iran.
Yeah,
Russia is with Iran.
Russia,
All
China,
the Arabs are with Iran.
Russia, China,
Take
any
your
other
nose out of the ass
North Korea
of the tiny number of people that you think are the world. They're not the world. The world is 8 billion people.
Right.
You're speaking for the little clique that leads a tiny fraction of fewer than 1 billion of the people of the world.
So just to be clear, just to be clear,
cannot see beyond the end of your nose.
As I suggested, then you want to put up as a defence for Iran that they're supported by China, Russia. Did you mention North Korea?
That's a lot of people, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But are they the kind of people, in terms of their own regimes, that we should be taking as good supporters of these benevolent people in Tehran?